Hello, today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. Really quickly, let me just swap over to the browser here while I get all the other stuff set up. I need to really quickly disable that. Okay, so today we're going to pause the stuff that we were doing. So we were working on some stuff for the 2021 Dungeon Crawler Game Jam. That doesn't start for like 2 weeks. There is another game jam coming up before that I want to work on, or that I want to participate in. I believe it starts on Friday, but there is some stuff that we can work on for that. Where is it? I'm looking for is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Anyway, so we will work on some stuff today for that. The main thing we need is like a list view in Unity's UI. The game that I'm thinking of is like a mobile sort of game. Well, it's going to be on a mobile device. It doesn't necessarily have to be a mobile game, but it is going to be more menu driven. So I do want to create a sort of list view for it. And then after that, we will actually go do some Lua stuff, because I need to learn Lua for some various reasons. But yeah, well, I say learn. What I need to do is I need to actually remember a little bit of Lua, because I did know some of it before. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing later in the stream. I'm not facing the right way. Okay, so we have our canvas. I'm going to add some stuff. I'm going to basically what I want, or what I think will work, is I think we can have the list view to one side and then the details for each list item to the other side. So let me quickly mock that out. The game that I'm thinking of, we're going to tie this to that side. Actually, I want you to expand it that way. Yeah, the X is going to be anchored at 0. That's an interesting width. Did I type that wrong? Yeah, that's quite a width. Yeah, I love Unity. It really tries sometimes. It's amazing. Poor Unity. Okay, 1920. Actually, no, this needs to be 240, because we're going to block out that much of the screen on the left and the right for various reasons, which will not become apparent until later. Probably not even later today, just not until later. But yeah, this is where various controls are going to go, I'm pretty sure. So 916, you could think of a phone kind of in that orientation. Really, the aspect ratio should be 916, or 16:9, sorry. 916 is another mobile ratio, but it's not the one that we want here. So these are just random panels. Sure, we can make them darker, because they look better when they're darker. Yeah, like that, all right. And so we want the list view sort of in the middle. So I need to get out my calculator, because I can't remember. No, I don't. It's not, because it's 240 times 3, because 240 is 1/8 of 1920, therefore there are 6 sections in the middle here, so we need U to be at an offset of 240, not 140, 240. Your width needs to be 720, is that right? Okay, I think that's right. So this is the list view. But anyway, the reason we need to make a list view is because Unity doesn't support them by default. At least, not from what I've seen, it doesn't. In its like legacy sort of UI. And I know there's the newer UI stuff, but I've looked at it and I'm not super impressed with it quite yet. I think it needs a little bit more work before I want to use it. But it is a pretty cool idea. So that's the list view, and then we want U to be aligned over here. Your width needs to be 720, and no, sorry, your offset needs to be minus 240. And yeah, your width can be 720, so this is the details panel. All right, so what we want to do is we want to display a list of stuff here, so we're going to need a scroll view. And actually what I want to do is behind all of this, I want to create a background. So we can have that. That is going to be completely solid. Probably going to be some shade of gray. Okay, and this is all going to be at 0, 0, 0, 0. That way we have sort of a solid coloring in the background. Perfect. Okay. We'll make the details panel a little bit lighter so that we can just tell the difference between the two. Yeah, something like that. And then what I want to do is I want to add a scroll view over here. So we're going to scroll through it, and scroll downward, and as we scroll through each item, I'm going to put details over here to the right. So let us create a scroll view. And we also have to mess with the content size fitter stuff. That's going to be fun. Because, it's always fun whenever you have to do that in Unity. I don't know, I never understood that sorcery. I still vaguely don't still for the most part don't understand it. So this is the vertical scroll bar. We want the horizontal scroll bar to disappear because we only want to scroll vertically. And since this is a mobile game, I don't know, well actually no, we do want the content to scroll if necessary. So I believe it is, oh, there's a way to do it. Right, we disable horizontal scrolling. And then when we do that, I think that allows us to put you, to the bottom there. Okay. So now it aligns to the bottom. And there is actually going to be a scroll view over here as well, just in case the content overflows vertically. There's probably going to need to be like a list title as well, something like that. But we'll deal with that at some other point. Okay. This is the actual list view. This is going to display the contents. So we need the content to auto resize depending on what's in it. So let me see if I can remember how to do this before I start looking it up. So let's say we wanted a content size fitter. Yeah. Horizontal should be unconstrained. The vertical should be at the minimum size. And this will apply to each child. So if we want, let's say, a grid, is it a grid view that we want here, or do we want a vertical? I don't think it matters, actually. So I think if we do a vertical layout group, we want the child alignment to be in the upper left. That's probably fine. And what we want is, we want to control the child height. We want the force the child to expand the width, that's fine, but not on the height. Or no, we want to control the width, but I don't know if this control child size height applies to the content size fitter or not. Let's assume it doesn't. And now if I add in, let's say, Text Mesh Pro here, let's import the TMP assets. I believe this does not auto rescale, does it? So if I said 20, no. Okay. For whatever reason, the size of this is fixed. I don't understand that. So if we control the child height here, now the height is 0 for whatever reason. Force child expand? No, that doesn't do it. So yeah, this is what I don't understand, is why the minimum size for this element does not, we can't auto size. Yeah, why does the minimum, why is the content size fitter not doing what it theoretically is supposed to do? I really don't understand. Like, why is it not? It is, okay. Hey, how's it going, the percentage guy? Do you understand the Unity content size fitter nonsense? Like, I really don't get it. Like, I've thought that I got it, but I still don't get it. It's like, theoretically, none of this makes sense. Oh, okay. I don't think anyone does. Like, I've looked at this before. I've done the tutorials, but it doesn't seem to do what it's supposed to be doing. Never heard of it. Ah, okay. What I want is I don't use Unity. Ah, okay. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, thankfully we won't have to use this stuff for that much longer, but like, we have to use it for now. Well, I have to use it for now, because they are coming out with a new UI system that's based on like CSS and, well, it's like based on sort of web technology, so they have their own CSS, they have their own, you know, HTML basically. But once I get this stuff sorted out, I'm actually going to do some Lua stuff later today, just to, you know, mess with that. Oh, what a great opportunity to try. Yeah, well, no, I'm actually going to do some Lua stuff later today, but, well, later today is in, like, probably later in this stream. Yeah, just so that I can learn it. But I do need to get this working. I want to get this working first. This is for this sort of a list view type thing for a different game jam. But yeah, I gotta figure out why this doesn't work. The right is at 0, that's what we want. Left is at 0, that's what we want. Here at 1. Oh my god, why? Alright. Have to go to Google because, so Unity, auto resize text. I hate this so much. Auto resize text, sure. No, that's from 2014. That's not going to work. All right. Okay. So, fit size of UI element with child text, such as a button. Probably want the whole UI element to fit the size of that text, maybe with some padding. Okay. So it's a horizontal or a vertical layout group, right? Okay. So add a vertical layout group, and then add a content size fitter. Both to the preferred setting. Okay, that's not helpful. You can tweak that. Okay. As long as there's only a single child, it'll produce the same result. But it doesn't produce that result, because I have a vertical layout group, yes, and then I have a content size fitter. Upper left, legacy version, maybe it's different in newer docs. I suppose that's true. It's really helpful that Unity decides to take you to the beginning of the manual as opposed to the actual page that you were on. That's really helpful. I'm glad they added that feature. God, I hate Unity. I really hate the Unity documentation. Oh. But yeah, thank you. That's true. That's a good catch. That's at 560. So if I go to, let's say, here, and then, can I just go to here? Interesting. I don't know. I think this is the new documentation, right? So yeah, sometimes the docs are bad. You have an extra word in that sentence. I know what you mean. There is some good documentation, but not really. But no, I think it's the same, right? Or both the preferred setting. You can add tweak, padding, use horizontal layout group. Oh, is it something? Right. Am I just being dumb here? Is it something where you have to do, where you don't do this? Is it where you like put it on the viewport or something? Is that what it is? And then you make like hang on, that might actually be it. So I put a content size fitter, then I put the vertical layout group here. Is that what it is? It's something like this. Parent type of a layout group. Parent, really? I think it's something dumb like this. Parent has a type of layout group component. Does it though? I don't know where it is in the parent. Does it mean child? No, it thinks it means parent. I put a vertical layout group in here. And does it do what I want? No. So the vertical layout group has to be in the content. That, at the very least, has to be true. Okay. So we need to control the child's width, and we want the child to expand. I think we need to control the... Okay, I was going to say, is it missing the T, really? No, it's not. Okay. Minimum size, yes, that should be... Should it be preferred size or something? Is that what it is? Nope, that didn't change anything. No, it should be... It should be auto resizing. Well, it's not even forcing expand. Why is it not working? I don't understand. If I add you to... I create a content size fitter. Then let's say I set it to the preferred. No. Minimum? No. The width? Okay. Right, I remember there was something weird about the width here where you can't, for whatever reason, it can't auto resize. Is that right? No. Can the width be like this? It can, but it still has everything at 0 height. We can't force the child to expand height. Is it the preferred size? Is it really? Is that what it is? I thought it was the minimum. Okay. So it does work, but you just have to, it's not minimum size, it's preferred size. I see. See, I guess in order to contain all the children, so it can't be minimum and preferably. So this one, I guess, describes the layout element. Both to the preferred setting. I see, so the capitalized, okay. So that is my bad, I misread it. By preferred, it means, rather than the preferred setting, it means the actual word needs to be preferred. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Then I'll just chalk that up to me being not smart, or me just not reading. One of the two. Okay. So I'm happy about that. Happy that that actually kind of works. Now, we have to make this more complicated, unfortunately. Because this text needs a background. So that means that we need this to be a parent. But, oh, interesting. So wait, I thought the content size fitters applied recursively. Am I wrong about that? Because I thought for sure, or no, what is it? I remember what it is, right. You have to create an empty parent, and then you have to have a vertical layout group inside the parent. That's what it is. God, this is so stupid. Oh my god. Why? This is so stupid. Oh, I hate Unity so much. Like, I vaguely understand it, but it's so terrible. It feels like HTML, just worse. Sure, the width can be that. We can't set the width to that. Okay. So we can control the child size there and just force you to expand? Yeah, okay. Then this should still, yeah, okay. So you auto resize to the child. Right, alright. Oh, it's just so bad. Padding, sure, let's just give it 10 by 10 by 10. That's probably fine. 10 by 10 by 10. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So now if I add a panel, no, not panel, image, right? This should appear as sort of the background. Yeah, okay. So whatever color we want the highlighting to be, probably something like that. And then the actual padding, something like that. I mean, we're going to change the color, obviously, but, you know. So now multiple elements, looks something like that. Okay. And obviously these are going to, whoops, going to have no alpha. Okay. There we go. All right. Cool, we have that. Great. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out how to actually populate the list view and how to select some stuff from it. So the way that I want to do that, I have scripts, common, components. Let's create something new here. We'll say list view component. And I got to think about how I'm going to make this more generic. All right. Let's open Visual Studio. What time is it? It is 25 after. Okay. So at least probably at 12, probably in an hour or so, we'll switch over to Lua and see what we can do with that. It's been a very long time since I've used Lua. All right. So what I want to do for this, I got to think about this. So with the list view component, I think I want. So I want to create a. I want to automatically create. No, what I want is I want a list of objects that sort of back the objects on the view itself. And when I change that list, I want the list view itself to update. So I'm trying to think about how we can actually get the on-change sort of notifications. So one way to do it would be to create a derivative or to create something that implements the list class. I don't like that. I mean, ideally what I want is I want public, list, whoops, say using Unity, or not Unity Engine, system.collections generic. Generic, ideally, want a list of, I don't know, let's say strings should be the elements. And so I want to create, and then I want a public game object, and this is like the template. And then I think I want to create like a template for each element. Like I want to create an instance of the template for each element. But that's easy to do, but then modifying the elements doesn't update the number of templates, which I don't like. So I guess we could implement this. We could just say that this is always a list of strings. How bad would that be? And this really doesn't need to be public, it can just be protected. How bad of an idea is that? This will be list string, let's say elements. That way, whenever we can treat this as like a list of strings. All right, let's implement all of this. So with the indexing, okay, right. I think this will work. So what we need to do is first, okay, first what we do, before we implement this, we will get it creating a template for each element, and then we'll work on adding and removing the elements. So let's say public, we'll already get a clear method from the list itself, I believe. So have a protected void clear elements. Yeah, we'll call everything like elements. All right, so to instantiate an element for each template, or sorry, to instantiate a template for each element, we need a contents object. So this would be a rect transform since this is a list view. This will be content. And actually this, for the template, needs to be a rect transform specifically. So that is the content. And so for clear element, whenever we want to clear it, what we want to do is we want to say for each rect transform. Oh no, I think it is for each transform. Actually, hang on, let me look at this. So this is a transform. Okay, let's just do transform. Child in content. So for each of those, we just want to say if the child.gameObject is not equal to the template, or if it is, I should say, then we want to continue. Otherwise, we want to destroy the child.gameObject. And that will just clear all the elements, and then we can say protected void create element. Then we'll say string element, I guess. So this is the actual element in the list. Actually, we'll call these items. We'll say create item. Yeah, that'll work. That way, elements are the string like objects that are backing the list, and then items are the actual, parts of the list itself. I think that'll be fine. So what we want to do is we want to say var item is equal to instantiate. Whoops. Want to instantiate template. JV template. And then we want to have content be the want content to be the parent of it. And then what we can do is we can somehow, I don't know, assign, yeah, I don't know. We need some kind of function to assign, well, yeah, we need some kind of function to assign the information here. So we'll have a public, let's say public, needs to be a function, so we need to be using system, I believe. So we need a function, no, it's an action, which we still need system for. So we need an action that will take a string, which is the item, and a game object, which is the, or no, take the element and the item, and it will do the assignment. So this is the item binding function. Yeah, the item binding. Yeah, that'll work. And then by default, that's just going to be item element do nothing, basically. Yeah, just do nothing. And we will specifically call out that it's supposed to do nothing. Whenever you have code that's supposed to do nothing, it's generally good to put a comment there to, notify people that it's supposed to do nothing. Otherwise, it can be an issue. Well, it can create issues later, because then people see the empty code and they're like, oh, I don't know if that's supposed to do nothing. So say item binding dot invoke, and we will invoke it on the item dot game object, and, or sorry, invoke it on the element and the item dot game object. I mean, I guess by default this can actually be something different, but for now we'll just keep it like that. And then I think that's all we need to do there. And so in the private void awake, the default function, actually no, right, the default function should be something different. What it needs to be is it needs to be element, or no, I got that confused, didn't I? Yeah, I did. It's item it's element item, not item element. Yeah. So it'll be item, and then we will find our item.gameObject. Wait, no. Or it's, sorry, get component in children. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to be using TextMesh Pro. Just going to assume that we're using that. We're going to find a component in children of type tmp text, and then we're going to say text is equal to element, and that'll be the default. Actually, that don't need this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that way it'll just bind the element text to the first text component that it finds in the children. So now in, let's say, private void awake, this will be temporary. But what we want to do is we want to say elements.forEach element, then we want to create an item, or sorry, for each element we just create an item. That's all we need to do. And this will have a default value of new list, just in case. All right, I think this will work. Let's try it. So if we add a, let's say, list view here. Oh, right, none of those fields are serializable. Right. No, it's not serializable, it's serialize field. Yes. Have all of that, perfect. And now that should give us 3 fields to assign here. Yep, okay. So let's say this has 3 elements, and you can be the template. Instead of element, we'll call you item. Item template. Yeah, that'll work. Ah, we need to set the item to be active. So we'll say item, oops. Say item.gameObject.setActive to be true, because it'll start inactive. And then, yeah, okay. So we should be able to create a list view, let's say 1, 2, and 3 as our elements. You will be the template, you will be the content. All right. So yes, that creates a list view with 3 elements. Perfect. Now for the more complicated part. Actually, we can leave this in awake, oddly. What we want to do is we want to say that this is actually a list of strings. And what this will let us do is it'll grab all of the public methods. Interesting. I guess that's how you're supposed to do it. I guess private, protect, public. Okay, that's fair. So now what this will do is this will say elements.count. All that'll go into. And then isRead only is true, because we don't want people modifying this. This will be elements of index. The set will be throw a new not implemented exception. That's fine. In terms of index of, we'll just say elements.indexOf. Basically, most of this is just going to shadow into elements, or just, you know, kind of forward the call to the elements part. But if we need to insert stuff like this, then we will just say elements.insert at index, and we'll say item. And we'll have to deal with that at some point. Actually, we'll create a refresh. So say protected void refresh. The way that we'll deal with this now is the first thing we'll do is we'll say clear, clear items. And then we will say elements.forEach. Oh, hey, how's it going, percentage guy? We're just working some more on the list view stuff. I finally managed to get Unity to cooperate. So it just took me rereading the docs, which is, I guess, fair. So yeah, first thing we want to do on awake is we want to refresh. And then after this, we will insert and then we'll refresh. The way that we're going to handle a lot of this mutability is just we're going to do the refresh, and that should be fine. If it needs to be more efficient, I can make it more efficient later. So we'll do remove at index and then we'll refresh. Basically what I want is I want a component in Unity that looks like a list of strings to everything else, but is actually a component. And so that way I can just modify it as if it's a list and the UI will update accordingly. So yeah, so in add we can just do elements.add item, and we'll just say create item, or yeah, okay. Really this is the element. So when you use it, you can choose from 1 to 2 challenges. I'll probably pick snake, just because I'm more familiar with the logic of snake, or maybe I'll do both, I don't know. It'll probably depend on how well I remember Lua, for the most part. Like, I remember a lot about Lua, but I just haven't used it in a long time. So contains, we can return element elements dot contains item. Only a few things to remember. Yeah, it's just the syntax is the thing that I don't remember a lot. So this is copy to. Can do elements.copy to. I don't think we'll ever need this. Array index, yeah. All you really need to know is about functions, if statements, variables, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I don't know. I like to know like the super weird details of things. So I'll probably spend a lot of time just reacquainting myself with a lot of that. I'm the person who like will scan through the documentation and be like, hey, did you know you can do XYZ? I'm just that kind of person. Var removed is such and such. The wait function is a little weird though. It's the wait as in, is it like an async function or something? An idea how to make a task scheduler. Yeah, task schedulers are fun. There should be a default one somewhere. Well, actually, to make a task scheduler, because I have no idea. Oh, so if you're making like a task scheduler type thing, usually the way people do it is they have a list of coroutines that need to be run. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of task scheduling you want to do. What I would do... Oh, that's weird. Okay. The way that I would do coroutines or task scheduling, if you want to do that, like a very simple task scheduler, is that you just create a list of callbacks. So you'd create, in C# syntax, like I've done it before, you'd create like a list of, in C# it's called an action. And then it's also CL freeze, which just freezes the app. Yeah. But you'd create like a list of actions. And then whenever you do like the main loop of your engine, you just iterate through that list of callbacks or list of functions, whatever you want to call it, and you just execute each one. So whenever the user does like, you know, they have a coroutine or they register like a coroutine, then you just call that function once before the next frame. The way that Unity does coroutines is it uses this IEnumerator thing, which is like the language structure is called a generator. So I think you can look up like Python generator function, and it works basically the same way. Yeah, generators in Python. So the idea, I'm trying to think of the actual thing. I don't like it. I don't like any of these examples. Basically, the idea is that you have a function that returns one value at a time as opposed to returning all of its values at once. So for example, if you wanted to create a list of like, 1 to infinity, it's not really possible to do that for various reasons, mainly just you can't, can't store that much data. But what you can do is you can make a function that returns, the next number between 1 and infinity. See, wait, syntax. Okay, yeah, I'll look at it. But yeah, I would look up how JavaScript does it, because it does it like in JavaScript you can do it pretty easily. Like they did it with you basically give it a function, you call a function and then it gives you, or you call it a function and you give it a function. So you'd say like set timeout, I think it is. And then, you give it, say, I don't know, 1,000 milliseconds, then you say, after 1,000 milliseconds, execute this function. And so you could do that with your game engine. Because you could just say, hey, call, CL, timeout or something. You could say 100 and then whatever the Lua. I don't know what the Lua function syntax is. That's the one thing that bugs me. So something like that, and then that would add that function to a list or whatever. And then if for the like timeout part, okay. Let me look at that. Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. Time in milliseconds, yeah. That's that's basically how you do it in JavaScript. So like JavaScript, I think it's set timeout, I think. Okay, so JavaScript does it the other way, but yeah, you pass in a function and then you pass in the time. So that's how you do like a wait function. But you can do it other ways. You can do it with yield functions. So like yield functions are, you basically just execute the yield function each frame until it returns null, and then you can stop, I think. Or no, I think yield functions actually say, has values or something. But yeah, the way that you're doing it is basically the way that people usually do it. So let's return elements. And if I were making an engine, it's the way I'd do it. Whoops, it's elements.get, or no, get enumerator. And then this, I think what we want to do here is I think we want to cast this to IEnumerable. I think we're supposed to do it this way. Okay, yeah, so the syntax for collision detection. So hold on, wait a second. Do you complain if I do this? You do. That's interesting. So, what I want to know is why two methods of the same name are allowed with different access modifiers here. I'm very curious what the difference is here. It's very interesting to me. Okay, but now in theory, whenever I modify a list, I should be able, or whenever I modify this component as a list, I should be able to just see the differences. So this is going to be, let's say, whoops, this is going to be, let's say, list view tester component. Okay. what we'll do here is we'll say namespace red plus blue. All right. Now you and red plus blue, a red plus blue game. That's the better one. Okay. What we'll do is we'll have a public list view component. This will be a list view, or this will be the list view. Actually, list view. And it will be protected. And so now what we will do is we will actually store it into an iList, which we want system collections generic. So say iList string. All right, this is the list, and then in private awake, what we'll do is we'll say list is equal to list view, which should be valid because list view is of type iList. And so we'll say private void update. Also, let me check something. Oh, okay. So in private void update, so what we'll do is we'll say if input.get access, or sorry, get key down. I want to add something to the list each time I press a key. So we'll say, I don't know, keycode.q. So each time I press Q, we are going to add sent. Okay, I'll look at it in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, going to have a protected queue. Yeah, that'll work. A queue of strings. So this will be elements to add. So we're going to create a new queue. And let's just add, I don't know, one, whoops. Really? Is there no queue initializer? Really? Really? Well, that's BS. Alright, fine. We will use a list of strings. Okay. Fuck your rules. Jeez. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. And so then we'll say list, no, elements to add dot dequeue. Okay, so we'll add 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. If I did this right, and it should update as we do it. Oops. Sure, we'll add this to the canvas. Let's view tester, and we need to add a protected, serialized field. All right. So yeah, after I test this, I will look at the syntax. Okay. There's the list view there. Okay. The list view by default has 0 elements. Okay. So now, if I press Q, damn it, it was destroyed. Really? Does it destroy the item template? It shouldn't. It does. Why? Why does it do that? Game object is equal to template, which it should be. Huh. Is there something? Oh. Wait. Oh. That game object. Right, because you can compare. Oh god, okay. That's really terrifying. I understand that now, but that's terrifying. Okay. So now I hit that. Okay, we get 1, we get 2, we get 3, then we get 4. Perfect. So, what that demonstrated is that we can basically modify this list view component as though it's a list. All right, very happy with that. Now let me look at, okay, so your collision detection, so you check if the two different IDs are colliding. I believe that's what I'm seeing. You're checking if ID is colliding with the property, or with the X and Y position of ID 2. Okay. Okay. That's fair. Try to make Lua errors. Okay. Last line ran before error, something like that. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a way to do it. I'd recommend looking into something like Bullet, I think Bullet 2D, or just Bullet, but I think Bullet 2D is a thing. Engine? Where is it? Really, do they not have a website? I thought they did. The reason I'd look into Bullet 2D is because I think they have Lua Bindings for this. So if you go to GitHub using ClickTeam, yeah, but I think you can include this, and this should do all the collision stuff for you, I believe. I might be wrong. .NET, no, not .NET, Lua Bindings. Does it? Bindings with Lua code. This is from the Lua C API. Lua Bullet, it's pretty self-contained. Yeah, I mean, you might check this out though. You might see if you can get something into it. Because if you can, this should do all the collision stuff for you. But I think this is a Lua binding of Bullet 2D. And it looks like it gets packed as a DLL. So you should just be able to bind to, you should be able to just grab the DLL. But yeah, this should do all the collision detection stuff for you. The only reason that I say it is because collision detection is like one of those things that is like super difficult to do. Like it's cool to do like simple stuff, but after you get to a certain point, it doesn't scale very well. But yeah, like if there's one thing that I would recommend not trying to do on your own, I'd say it's probably physics, because they are very difficult. But I do need to take a break really quick and get some water. But yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, so see ya. All right, and I am back. I think this is, yeah, okay. Okay. So, where were we? I'm trying to think. You sent out your collision detection function. So this is local width 2. So you check. Oh, so you're doing AABB. Yeah, you're doing AABB. What is it? Yeah, AABB. Trying to think of what it's called. Axis aligned bounding box collision detection. Yeah. Checking if that's that, if that's that. You get minus that and that. X minus with 1, x plus with 1. That'd be x and y, okay. Interesting. Okay, yeah, that's how you do, yeah, that's basically how you do axis aligned box bounding, or bounding box, or whatever it's called. Collision. Collision does not have a T in it. Yeah, it is AABB. Trying to think. Where does it say it? Yeah, axis aligned bounding box, yeah. And so yeah, that's one way to do collision. So also on the note of your syntax for set timeout, I actually had done something similar. I had added to mono behaviors. I actually added a thing where you could do this.invoke. You could say, you know, in 2 seconds or whatever, in 2 seconds, you know, invoke whatever action. So I had done something very similar to what you had done. But anyway, we need to, this list view component needs to keep track of what item is selected, and it needs to highlight that item somehow. But we need to do, we can get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. We don't need to set any of that up. We can just say list view.add whatever. And then what we need to do in the list view itself is we need the concept of like a selected index. And then we need, yeah, we need the concept of a selected index. So we need to say like a protected int selected index. Right. And so when we refresh, we need to, well, this will, whenever we add or destroy something, this will destroy whatever the selection was previously. So we can say protected void, I guess we say highlight selected. And then we will, so the highlighting, what we want to do is we want to set the background, well, we'll set the background color. So actually what we want is we want an action of game object, and this is the like highlight bind, or highlight, what is it? Like on highlight or something, or highlight item. So the idea is that this will, you know, highlight an item. So we'll pass in the item, and the default will be item dot find. This is an action of game object. Oh, not find. God, I get confused between find component and get component. Really, it should be get component with an image, and we need using Unity Engine .ui. Get an image, and then we say that the color is equal to, and I guess we need a highlight color. Yeah, probably need a color. Or yeah. Let's say protected color. This will be the highlight color. Will be that. The highlight color. Y equals highlight color. Highlight color. Why? So this is a color, yes, graphic.color. Field initialize. Oh, really? Huh. That's interesting. That's a weird rule in Unity. That's a weird rule in C#. I don't understand that. Like, I don't get why. I don't get that. That's real weird. Like, in Java, that's a weird rule. I don't understand that. So this is to say that the highlight item is equal to that. I think that lambda function only gets compiled. Well, yeah, lambda function only gets compiled once. I don't actually know. And that needs to be serialized. So yeah, when we highlight it, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just the default, okay. So when we highlight the selected, we want to say for each, well, actually, we don't want this to be, we want this to be the highlight binding, not an actual, yeah, we want to return an image. We don't actually, it's a function that returns the results. This is a function from GameObject to image, correct? Function from GameObject to image, yes. Okay. Yeah, actually we want to do this. And the reason being is that we do not, oops. The reason being is that we do not, God, I can't speak. We need to figure out how to unhighlight things. That's what we need to do. That's the words I'm looking for. So for each, what is it, var child, or no, let's transform child in content. We'll say if child.gameObject is the template.gameObject, then we continue. Otherwise, we say that we need to unhighlight anything that has been highlighted that doesn't need to be. So we'll say the highlight, what we'll say is need the highlight binding dot invoke on the child.gameObject, and with that we want to say the color is equal to either the default color or the highlight, or either transparent or the highlight color. So it's be the highlight color if it's true, and it will be the, oh, we don't have an index here. That's annoying. Console can only display 20 things at once because of performance reasons. Because of that, the engine will generate a log.txt. That makes sense. Usually, just writing things to logs makes more sense. This index is really annoying. The fact that we have to do this. So index plus plus. And actually, we want to start this at -1 due to that. So what we need to say is the index, if the index is equal to the selected index, then we want to set the color equal to the highlight color. Otherwise, we want to set it equal to the default color, whatever that might be. So we will need to create a default color. So be protected color default color. And what that's going to be equal to, it's going to be equal to the, what is it, highlight binding dot invoke on the template. If the engine gets Lua error, it will crash because Lua generally stops working as soon as it errors. I mean, that's true of basically everything. And then open the log.txt file. Okay. And the error will be placed all the way at the end. Okay. So we get the highlight binding from the template itself, from the template's game object. And then that's equal to that. So the default background color is going to be equal to whatever is set on the template itself. So if, we'll say, create a var for isSelected. So we'll say var, no, we'll say var background color is going to be equal to this. So if the index is equal to the selected, we use the highlight color. Otherwise, we use the default color. Also, something you should know, Lua doesn't use null. You have to use, yeah, you use nil for whatever reason. Yeah, yeah, I don't know why they chose nil. It's very strange. I don't know. I don't know why they picked that word. I don't know what the difference in meaning actually is between the two, or if they're just different languages. Like null might be like the Americanized version of nil. Because I thought nil was like a Latin version of null or something. I don't know. Something to do research on. Anyway, at a few minutes I'll start doing the Lua stuff whenever I can get this working. So selected should always be 0. So we want to, on refresh, we want to highlight the selected. Whoops, not here. Null is a German word. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So is null the German version of nil? Whereas nil would be like the Latin version of it, meaning 0? Or maybe nil means like void or nothing. No, nil means like nothing, right? It's Latin. It's like a Latin. Isn't it Latin prefix? It's part of the German language. I don't know if that's the origin. Yeah, that's true. Could be something completely different. It's like the use of static in programming. It doesn't mean that it's not something that changes. It's really lame. I don't know. In programming we just like pick words and we're like, yeah, that's a cool sounding word, and we're just gonna, you know, just gonna commandeer it for what we do, what we want to do. So this should ask if you want more facts about the German language. Oh, you're German. Oh wow. It's interesting because my family, we are German, but we are like 3rd generation kind of at this point. I would be 3rd or 4th generation. I don't know. I don't actually know any. Well, I know a little. Well, I know a couple words maybe. No, I don't know any words in German. Actually, I can't think of any. I did look into German at one point, but yeah, I don't know any German, and I feel bad because I have German ancestry. That needs to be the highlight color. And then the default background color should be that. And then the actual highlight color should be... no, you do. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do know one word now. That's good. So you're German, do you live in German? Sorry, do you live in Germany or do you live in the US? Or do you live somewhere else? I guess you could be German and live basically anywhere in the world, but I guess my question is, do you live in Germany? Oh, you do? Okay, cool. That's cool. I don't know, I've been thinking about going to different countries, and I'm trying to think of moving to like a different country at some point. I'm thinking about maybe Germany as one of them. Like Germany, Poland, or Canada or something. I don't know. The US has just gotten too crazy for my taste. That should be the highlight color. Streams are actually really conveniently timed for my time zone. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I am from the US. I'm from Texas. Good old state of Texas. So yeah, right now it's like almost noon for me. But yeah, I'd love to do these earlier actually, these programming streams, but I just can't get up in time. Index is equal to the selected index, but the selected index should be 0. Insert meet the engineer, yeah. Why is this never determining the correct background color? Ah, because the index will always be 1. Ah, interesting. So actually, that's not an issue. Very interesting. Okay, wait a minute. No, that should have still highlighted something. Hang on. Why is that not highlighting anything? Selected index is 0. Oh, because selected index is always 0. That's why. Okay. So wait, no. This should work then. No, this should work. Wait. Oh, no. What I need to do is that. That should work. No, it shouldn't. That should. Because it'll be -1. Whenever it hits the template, it'll go back to the beginning. Then it'll get incremented here. That's what I need to do. Now it's fine because there's nothing in the list. Okay, or it just doesn't work. Why does it not work? I'm fairly certain that I'm calling this in refresh, yes. Okay. Am I not adding anything to content? No, I'm adding stuff to content. Let's say checking some index. Sure. We should be getting, it should be checking that stuff. I wonder why it's not. So it only checks those. Why? Am I not calling refresh on add? I'm not calling refresh on add. Ah. Interesting. I guess whenever we modify, the list, we need to recall highlight selected. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. So now, checking that, that's fine. There we go. Now I can see the selection. Okay. So now the next thing, okay. I always question myself, why do the warning and error versions of Debug.log exist? I've seen no one ever use them. It's really for, like if you put a game in, let's say like production, you'd want a log error. Yeah, it's for basically like production level games. I've seen them, I think I've seen them in Empyrean a couple times. But yeah, debug.log, yeah, to be fair, people really don't use them as they should. But yeah, it's usually for production. It just tells you what's critical and what's not. Like, it's useful whenever you work on like a larger team. So debug.log, like the log is meant to be just, here's some information. Warning means, hey, this could cause some problems. Like, warning is like, if you're seeing errors, you might want to check this. Whereas error is like, hey, this is broken. And we don't want to continue. Actually, wait, does debug.log error, does it actually do anything? I mean, it actually does change something, but like in Unity, it what it'll do is it'll actually do something different. So it's like, I don't know, let's say like highlighting selected or something. Debug.log will just give you like a little info thing, but if you have like this is a debug.log, this is a debug.error. So it just changes the color of this little exclamation point. So that's always fun. I think you can also set the log to like ignore certain things. So you can see the info, warning, and errors. But yeah, there might be a way to change how debug works. Is there like a log level? There's a log exception, log error format. Oh, a debug break. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, that's cool to know. Wait, hang on. Oh, that's been a thing forever, hasn't it? Oh wow, okay. There's log assertions, log formats. Yeah, all this stuff. I actually don't know if you can turn off different log levels. Unity debug log levels. Is there a way to turn those off? For example, you could theoretically filter them as well. But yeah, most things have like different log levels. My engine has no internal version checks or projects. There is an int variable named version to compare things to. Yeah, it's always good to have like a version number. Basically, version numbers just future-proof everything. Okay, so I could try to spend like 5 minutes working on the selection stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that. I am just going to remove the game development tag and let's say messing with Lua. Sure. All right. So programming. Let's remove these tags. Sure. Okay. We're just gonna mess with Lua. Most recent version is 9. Okay. Oh, it was 8 last time I heard about it, or last time you said something. But okay, let me check out Lua. What are good, say programming interview problem or questions? Sure. Let's see here. What are some good? No, programming interview code questions. I want to find some like simple stuff. No better way, blah blah blah. All this is lame. Ooh, implement bubble sort. Okay. So first off, let's try FizzBuzz in Lua. So Lua syntax. Basic syntax. Okay. So let's try this. So we just do print hello world. What do we get? How does this actually appear? Okay, so we have that. So So it appears down there. Go to the demo page. Yeah, I'm on the demo page right here. And then bubble sort. There are things at the top for basics. Oh, okay. There's io.write. What do you do? Sure, io.write. Hello, Lua for version. Okay. Levels. Oh, okay. This is much more helpful. Okay, so local s, scene of t is true. Implement table tv not seen. For kv in I pairs. Oh, interesting. In pairs, kv. Okay. So things to stop for basics. So for x in that do y. Okay. So let me think about FizzBuzz for a second. So for FizzBuzz, you do. Is there a for? Let me see. Where's the for loops? Loops. So I use not in most languages to do not equal. Okay, yeah, you have the tilde thing. Okay, I want to check the for loop first. So for int max min value increment. Interesting. Do x. So if I wanted to loop from also its comments, are they? I assume comments are like this. So looping from, let's say 1 to 100 by, wait a minute. What's the actual example? Oh, I equal 10, 1 to that, okay. So I equal, really? That's like that? Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that. I remember that, that's so lame. So for, let's say number is equal to 0, 1 to 100, increment of 1, we want to do, and then end. So what we want to do is we want to say, really, tab defocuses? Oh, that's so annoying. So actually, sure, let me just do from 1 to 10 and actually just print that and make sure it works the way I think it does. Print whatever the number is. So does that work the way I think it does? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. So it'd say if the number, or no, it's if number modulus 3. How do you do an if statement? Is it just like that? Or wait, is there a, so if type is that and not seen, oh, if then, okay. If that, then otherwise end. So this would be print fizz. So if that, and actually we need to do else, end. Okay. So otherwise we print number. Right? Is that right? Nope, that's not right. If number mod 3 is 0, then yeah, there we go. Okay. So is 0 considered false? So actually, could we do, I don't like the Lua, then do end. Yeah, I don't like it either. But I think it kind of needs it to make it easier. I think it needs it to understand, like if whitespace isn't part of the language, you kind of need the end. Basically because it can't tell what's supposed to be part of the if statement and what's not. Like, so for instance, if I wanted to do, well, actually, if I wanted to do something after, well, it's hard to show. Unlike Python, Well, Python relies on white space. It doesn't rely on tab. So you can do 2 spaces, 4 spaces, or tabs. It just has to have consistent indentation. In Python, they also have like the colon at the end. Ooh, invalid input. Really? Lua. So how do you invert something in Lua? Yeah, well, what's really fun is whenever you write your code with force. No. It doesn't. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it. No, I think it can be. No, let me double check. Let me double check before I say it. No. I'm pretty sure though it can be anything. I think it has to be. This is from 2011. I'm pretty sure it can be anything as long as it's consistent. By typing 4 space characters. Does it really have to be 4? Fun, indentation, 2 spaces. Python indentation hanging for indents. For hanging indents. No, this is not what I want. Python indent 2 spaces. You can hook your localize that way. No, I'm pretty sure that you can do it at any level. I think it can be, as long as it's consistent. I think as long as it's consistent, that's the only rule. It's probably just else if, right? It's probably just else if, is it not? So it'd be like if number, well, actually, let me figure this first thing out. So Lua invert bool. What's the inversion? Oh, it's not. Oh, okay, that actually makes perfect sense. It makes way too much sense. Okay. Yeah, if not, run? Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't. Interesting. So it's fine to convert that to Boolean. No. It's fine to convert that to Boolean. But it's not okay to convert that to Boolean? That's really weird. Like, this is fine, but trying to invert that isn't fine. That's weird. Sure. All right. So let's say else if number mod 3 is number mod 5. Number mod 5, then you print buzz. So do you work? It does not. Okay. Does not like printing booleans. You need to print it like that. Okay. Is Lua not an else if thing? Oh, is Lua an elif thing? Let me double check. So Lua else if. Lua if else if else if. Oh, it's literally, it combines the 2 words. That's amazing. Oh, I love you. I love Lua. Is that really how that works? That is really how that works. All right. Interesting. Okay. So we actually, this will work for this, but the problem is this doesn't work for 15. because 15 is fizz and buzz. So, right, what we need to do is we need to store something. So we need to say let, is it let in Lua? Is that how it works? No, it isn't. Oh wait, is it like local or something? And here, else if doesn't work, elif doesn't work. I guess Lua doesn't have else if. No, it just sticks the two words together, and I don't get it. Output is equal to such. What we need to say is we need to say here we need to say if output is this, then we print output, or then we print the number, else we print. Such a weird language. It's simple, powerful, and it makes no fucking sense. Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't. Otherwise, print the output. And then what we need to do here is we need to say output plus equal to fizz. Yeah, if you're gonna learn a language, the way that I'd recommend doing it is just try to implement like simple algorithms, because it'll force you to think in certain ways. Actually, can we do that? Actually, we don't want to do that. We want to do that. Does that work? Nope, that doesn't work. Can we not? Is the plus equals not a thing? Lua plus equals. The Earth's moon is named Lua. Lua logo. Yeah, it's kind of neat, isn't it? How they did that. But they named it. I think it's like Lua's like the Latin. Wait, Earth's moon is named Lua. Is it named Lua, or is Lua like the Latin word for it? Or is it actually called Lua? If the moon is named Lua, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Is plus equals not a thing? A unit, okay. Concatenate two strings. I think you just use plus. Okay. Output is equal to output plus that. Then it's equal to output plus that. Okay. Then, need a then there. Okay. Attempt to add string and string. Okay, so it's the dot dot. Is that really true? Oh my god, really? Lua? Ner. Yeah, for combining two strings. So is it modulus 3? I guess this is technically correct. I don't like it either. Does it work if you stick the two together like that? I'm just curious. It most certainly does. Okay. So from 1 to 10. Yeah, okay. So that works, but I don't like this. Let's try, I don't know, 16? Did we get 16 at the end? Yeah, okay. I don't like this though. I want to do something more interesting. So I want to store lists. Lua list. It's literally a Discord bot that can compile Lua code and display the assembly version of it. Oh god. Oh, that's amazing. Is it tables? No, it should be Lua collections. Iterators, tables, strings, functions, metatables, coroutines. Lua has tables instead of lists. Okay. So my table is that. Okay. Max n.remove.sort.insert.concat. So we can remove that and then insert, or no, concatenate strings. So Lua table add to end. Is there any way to do that easily? So you just insert, that inserts at the end. Okay. So is there any way Lua table literal? Take an input, try making a parser, tokenizer. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, I'll probably work with that at some point. But why are table literals treated directly, are treated differently from table references? Huh. Is equivalent to that. Oh, interesting. Okay. So if I wanted to make, so it'd be, say, Lua preview for click Lua, tokenizing strings. Okay. So I think for this, we say fizzes is equal to, it's one, empty, 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 fizz, and then buzzes. Oh, whoops, no. Function will then tokenize the string, return a list, or a table in this case. Okay. Yeah, I've had to do, for something I did at my job, I actually made a, like a compiler, and that, like, tokenizing and lexing is not fun. Okay. And so for each of these, what we want to do is we want to modify these. So rather than doing this nonsense, what we can do is we can say output, we can append to fizzes of 0. And then we can append, or sorry, concatenate buzzes at 0. And then we can say fizzes dot insert fizzes dot remove. Is it dot remove or what is it? It's not remove, it is remove at 0. And does remove return? In fact, Lua has an error function that literally generates an error. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to throwing an exception in other languages, right? So this will be buzzes dot insert buzzes dot remove at 0. Now the question is, does this work? No. Okay. Why does it not work? Oh. See, I'm also learning with you here. Okay. Attempt to concatenate a nil value with integer index. Input at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A nil value with integer index. I'm uncertain what that means. So let me just, what does this actually output here? That outputs nothing. Why? Okay. Oh, Lua indexes at 1, doesn't it? It indexes at 1, doesn't it? Everything's indexed at 1, isn't it? Trying to add a string, that didn't work. Trying to add a string, nothing, nowhere. Yeah, yeah. Lua indexes at 1, doesn't it? Call a nil value field remove. Is it not called remove? I thought it was called remove. It's called remove. Insert and remove. So insert. Oh, do we have to call table.insert? We can't actually call it on the table itself? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So it'd have to be table.insert. Insert into fizzes at that. So it'd be table.insert into table.remove fizzes at 1. I wonder if the remove actually does what I think it does, if it returns the value or if it just inserts nil. Haha, it works. Attempt to call nil value, the function does not exist. We go cry now, yeah. So if you're ever in an interview for programming and you want to impress the interviewer, this is one way to do it. So instead of doing like modulus checks, all we do is we create this list and then we just move the values in the list around, and that causes the whole thing to work. It's really cool because you don't have to do modulus checks for it. And so yeah. So yeah, the whole point of like fizzbuzz is that every multiple of 3 you print out fizz, and every multiple of 5 you print out buzz, and then if there's multiples of both you print out fizzbuzz. No, really, basically every Lua error you see contains nil somewhere. Yeah, it really does. Okay, so if I can do this, what I want to do now, Lua, is there like a dictionary? So this, put 10 at that field. Oh, okay. So that's like a table, but the, okay, I understand now. So the output function is going to be equal to this. Is there not an initializer for this? It's equivalent to that, yeah, but is there not... Lua likes words. Yeah, it kind of does. Use this blank to put them in a variable. Lua table initializer. Quickly associative table. There we go. Following gives an error. Oh my god, really? Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, I guess that makes sense at some level. So the output function is, it's either blank or, so blank is equal to, and then can I do like function, every programmer's friend. Yeah, there's actually like an Eclipse plugin that whenever you get an error in Java, it'll grab the error and then open a browser and put it into Stack Overflow for you. It's amazing. Oh, that's cool. Lua has try catch. All right. So, so we're either going to get a number, or we're going to get okay. I wonder if we can use nil as an index. The output function should be Lua function Lua lambda is what I want. Lambda function in Lua. Function print end. Okay. I have no idea how try catch works, but I know it exists. I would imagine that it interesting. Okay, I would imagine that try catch well, actually, that's a good question. How would that work? I would guess that you pass like a function to it or something. It's probably in here. Game programming, IO, error handling probably. Let me actually see. Oh, it probably has like try, I'll look at it later. Anyway, what I want to do is not this. I'll look at that later. What I want to do is, if this is empty, then we create a function. So there's table initializer. So we create a function, and this function will take in the number, and it will print the number, and then we will end. Then if it's nil, what we will do is we will take in a, oh right, but no, we don't want to do that. No, we want to select, So we want to use output as the selector. No, we don't want to do this. Never mind. No, that's lame. Okay. Lua ternary? Is that a thing? Is it like local sign? If X, then otherwise that. There's a solution with and or. Anonymous functions and closures. Studio 0 brain. What are you? Oh, you're Lua IDE. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to look into this. That looks pretty good if it has this kind of syntax highlighting and stuff. I'll have to look at that a bit later. But what I want to do is we want to print if output is equal to this, then yield output, else yield the number, or no, sorry, if this yield number, otherwise yield output. And then we should be able to get rid of this, like all of that nonsense. All right. Output end. Does that run? No. Okay. Why does that not run? No, it should be Lua ternary. Ternary operators in Lua is this thing. Turn has joined the chat. Did I really put return? Or do you need to return? No, I didn't write return. Okay. I was afraid that I wrote return. Stylistically, if X is that, then else that. X equal A and that. Do we really need to return? Oh, functional if. If condition, then return. Oh wow, okay. That's interesting. So yeah, you're right, it is the return. Or is it not? Unexpected symbol near if. If that, then. Print. If condition, then that. Do I really have to... Do I really have to do that? Do I really have to do... that? Please don't tell me I have to do that. I have to do that. God damn it. That's really annoying. Okay. Sure. There's got to be a more functional way to do this. But I mean, hey, we can do it without if statements, so I'm happy about that. But we can actually do this. Well. I mean, only return works in functions. Okay. Return only works in functions. Huh. Okay. So let's create some functions here. So let's say print none, or print number. We'll say this is equal to a function that takes in a number, and it will print that number, and then it will end. Okay. And then we'll have a print fizz. That's a function that takes in a number, prints fizz, and then does nothing. Fizz, end. Then we'll say print buzz. It's a function. Takes in a number, print buzz, and then end. Elsewise, print fizz buzz, which is a function that takes in a number. Okay. So you said print only works inside of return only works inside of functions. Okay, and so we'll just say that the sequence is equal to, I believe it is print number. So you print the number, then it is, well, actually, we should do this way. Okay. So if comments are like this, then this is for 1, this is for 2, this is for 3. So for print that, it should be print fizz, yeah. And then I think you print the number, and that gets 4. And then afterwards, what is it? It's 4. We'll go through 5 to get print buzz. Print buzz, and then we don't actually need any of this. We don't even need an output, actually. We only need a number, and we only need to edit the sequence. So we'll say table.insert into sequence, sequences.remove at 1. So we just put that back there, and then all we do is we say sequence of number dot execute using number. Or no, we'll just say sequence of 1. We execute using the number. Right? Is this what I want to do? Aha. Yes, so this is correct. So 5, and then we grab the next 3, which I think are the same, right? No, 6 is print fizz. 7, 8. Yeah, I like it. It's a good language. So this is fizz. Yeah, I think I understand it now. Or I understand at least some more of it. Okay, so yeah, if you're ever in an interview, you can really impress the interviewer by showing them that you can do FizzBuzz using nothing but like functions, and you're like, I'll do it, I won't even use an if statement. You can really impress people. It's funny because people don't realize that there's this crazy solution. So this is print FizzBuzz. All right, and so print the number, print the number. Here this is fizz. Here this is the number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. Perfect. So 1 through 15. I got the syntax wrong somewhere. Probably forgot a comma. No. 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, forgot it. Okay. But yeah, I like Lua. Oh, everything's off. Why is everything off? No, why is everything off? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Because we edit the table after, right? Yep, there we go. Completely functional version of FizzBuzz. Absolutely no if statements at all. I love it. And the crazy thing is because the sequence repeats after 15, because 3 times 5 is 15, this means that you can just edit the max bound and it generates the correct answer for every single one. It's amazing. Well, we can actually print the number. Well, let's not worry about that. But yeah. It is 1 o'clock, so I'm going to have to not. I can't mess with it today because it is 1 o'clock. I need to go do some stuff. But this is this was a good intro to Lua. My plan is still to do some of the stuff with the engine on Friday, but I do need to again wrap my head a little bit more around this, like what you can do with tables versus what you can't do with tables. But yeah, I think I understand it well enough. Like once I can do FizzBuzz with this functional pattern here, I think it's fine. But yeah, I will. Yeah, again, I'll shoot to mess with the engine on Friday, and I'm gonna take. Well, actually, I can't do my later stream today. But anyway, it was good talking to you, the percentage guy, and tomorrow we'll do some more of the same. Do some Unity for about an hour and a half at 11, and then at like 12:30, yeah, 12:30 we will do some Lua stuff, just to get used to that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.